everybody, good evening, and welcome to another fantastic yet awesome show. Let me just roll back the curtains, as we say here. There we go. All right, beautiful, beautiful. I love it. Sometimes when a plan... There you are, everybody. All right, welcome, everybody, to a awesome show. I hope everybody can hear me. We had to do some technical stuff prior to the show. A lot of new software and goodies. Can everybody hear me just fine, I hope? John?
Yes.
All right, let me see here. Let me see. Oh, my Bev, come on. It's not making you sick. Let me see here. Oh, you guys too, huh? It's making everybody sick? All right, all right.
Why?
Just for everybody, let me see here. I will do this. Actually, no, I won't. Man, you guys. Well, you know what? Don't look at the screen, all right? Because you've got to give Denny Cool a second here to adjust this. So because you guys are my faves and I miss everybody, so I'm going to do this for you guys, but I will not do it all of the time. I'll tell you what, man. But I will say, guys, welcome. Thank you so much. It is good to be back. We had a long... Is that better? Okay, we had a long little break here, but now we are back. Appreciate it. You can't help but look at the screen. Well, yeah, I know. Ma, you gotta look at me. That's okay. Okay, here we go. All right, yeah, a little Star Galactic-y going on, whatever. Bring it back to Lava Lamps. Hi, Shirley. Hi, Graham. Daniela, Connie, Beth, John, Bev, Susan, and who else did I miss here? I know Joe, I think, was here earlier. Let me see. Oh, boy, I think that image is worse. I don't know about you guys, man. But I think that one is 10 times worse. Man, you guys are bugging my eyes out now. Oof. How about this? That's much better. Yeah. So, anyways, now that I've adjusted my entire show for you guys, welcome once again. I, a.k.a. the vocalist, Denny Cool, and the gang welcomes everybody back. Missed everybody. Truly, I did. Tonight we have an awesome show lined up. We have a guest on, Brian, a.k.a. the, let me see, the All Styles vocalist. Just to stand corrected. And it is B-R-I-A-N. I had to confirm that with Brian. Brian is holding patiently on the other end. We will get to him in a second. But first, I want to hear, how's everybody's week? Did you have a good weekend? All that stuff. I got to scroll down here. And I want to give a big shout out here. Sister from another mister, Tess. I know she's out there somewhere. And we've got Karen. I want to give a big shout out to Karen, Platinum Philly as well. And of course, the gang, all of you guys, thank you very much. Long week, huh, Susan? Yeah. Dallas. Jill, there you are. Dallas, Texas, huh? Yeah, well, what are you going to do? How about my office? Connie, I could do that. But we won't, because you guys already made me change it 5 times. 3 weeks, actually, huh? That's all right. 107. Listen, I don't hear anybody complaining. We've had nothing but rain. I will try to post some videos up there to show you guys the amount of rain we've had here. It was insane. The water was literally above my 20-inch tires on my truck. So it was quite nuts. Anyways, I'm glad everybody could make it. Thank you for all of the viewers out there who are watching but not chatting. That's okay. Don't forget, guys, our new email has changed. The team will type it up there for you. I believe it's dennycoolshow@gmail.com. Don't forget, sign up, subscribe, get on our mailing list, and don't forget about this show. I'm just going to put it up really, really quick, and then we're going to get our next guest, our only guest, actually, who's live tonight. We will get him right up. But let me just put this up here. This is on a Thursday night, all right? So I just don't want you guys to forget about it. It's on a Thursday night. There's a lot of speculation as to what's going on. I will, right there, how's that? I will be in a suit, without a doubt. There it is, okay? That is me, both of me, right there. And this is August 31st on a Thursday night. You don't want to miss it. But what you have to do is you must sign up, send the email list, for show tickets, because we need to know how many are coming, because this is going to be a live event. So we want to make sure that there's enough room and all that fun stuff. The tickets are free, but you just have to reserve your seat now, okay? So let's get on with the show, as they say. And there we go. So without doing any further, I'd like to welcome our guest, All Styles vocalist, a.k.a. Brian with a Y. Brian?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, Brian. See, John messed me up. Brian, B-R-I-A-N.
Yeah.
Brian, how are you, my friend? Can everybody hear Brian just fine?
I'm good. Can you all hear me?
Let's make sure everybody can hear me. I mean, hear you, Brian.
I know. I can hear you fine. You hearing me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. Yep, John
Great.
says he can hear you. Everybody says they can hear you. Awesome, awesome. Good. Yeah, guys, we had to do a lot of technical stuff. Brian, you know how that goes.
Yeah.
I got to put on these. Well, Brian, you know what it is I've got to put on these glasses. Everybody laughs at them, right, because they're bigger than my face. But I love them. They just make me look more studious than I already am. You know how that goes, Brian. We've got to keep up with our good books.
Yeah.
So, Brian, I talked to you earlier, all right, the other day. I had a great conversation with Brian prior to the show as well. Very interesting gentleman you are. Lots of cool stuff that he wants to share. And don't forget, guys, check out Brian's page, All Style Vocalist. We will send the links up when we feature some of his songs for you this evening. So, Brian, you are from the part of Florida, and of course it's warmer out there. I'm in Massachusetts, so it's rainy here. So I hope that you guys are enjoying your nice weather. Do you guys get a lot of storms out there, like thunderstorms and hurricanes and stuff?
Well, this year has kind of gone back to normal, in that you have a thunderstorm every afternoon. Sometimes it lasts, for half an hour, sometimes longer.
Yeah, but
I'm not hearing it. Oh, okay, good.
That's yeah. Sometimes, Brian, it takes me a quick second to think, because typically, if I don't think, I just say random things, and that's what they call Denlish. So,
okay.
Yeah, well, you know what? I would love a good thunderstorm, like a nice, good hurricane. I call it a hurricane because it's kind of hairy. Let me see here. Now,
well, cross our fingers. We haven't had one threat yet, so.
Well, it's a good thing, right? I mean, as long as nobody gets hurt and there's no real damage, I think that's a good thing. I would still love to see a tornado. That's just me. So, Brian, let's get on with your interview here, because there's a lot of really interesting answers in here. And for those of you who are watching, listening in the chats, we like to do this because there are so many talented people out there, especially on SingSnap, all of our members. And we want to allow everybody that chance, that opportunity to be interviewed, so they can learn more about you as the person and what inspires you about music, why you love music, why you love to sing. And it really allows people to know that individual just a little bit better, and to understand who he or she is and why they do the music, and why they love it so much. Because at the end of the day, music really, it's a collaboration of love and inspiration, in my opinion. So, Brian, we sent you a bunch of questions, and of course, they don't have to be verbatim. But these questions are geared towards finding out more about you and what inspires you. And one of the first questions here that I like to ask people, and again, it doesn't have to be exact answers, say it how you feel it. What age, roughly, were you first introduced to music?
Well, I would say about 4 to 5, and it's because first of all, we got our first television back in the 50s, 54, 55, 56. And then, I don't know if it was my mother or my grandmother took me to see Willie the Whale, Disney cartoon. And I was really impressed by that, because it was, the whale who wanted to sing opera.
The whale wanted to sing opera.
Exactly. And that was, the voice of that whale was Nelson Eddy. And so after hearing that, found some records that my parents have of Nelson Eddy, and I used to listen to him sing the Star Spangled Banner and My Country 'Tis of Thee and some other songs. And of course, I also was very interested in instrumentals, so I listened to Hungarian Rhapsody, and would move around the room, and were those exciting pieces,
Right.
It's classical pieces, but yeah, Nelson Eddy was my first introduction to singing.
So so between the ages of 4 and 5 is when you went to go see that Disney movie, and about Willie the Whale, who obviously was a musical whale. I mean, no pun intended, right? But that's what he was. And you kind of really went into a little bit of the second question, which was what inspired you most about music, and especially at such a young, impressionable age. And I think it's very important to ask these questions because at that age, we're so impressionable. We're just like sponges, right? So you kind of hit a little bit on that, but if you wouldn't mind elaborating more about what inspired you about music.
Well, for music, the most inspiration was singing, which came in my teens, but there was always music in the family. My mother played, and her mother played the piano, so we had that in the house, but not very often. And then, of course, I have to throw in Mickey Mouse Club, because all the Mouseketeers used to sing, and I religiously watched that every day around 5 o'clock. So that was those days, and then we moved out of Florida when I was 8 in 57, and then actually the church got me interested in choirs and people singing in the services, and
oh wow,
we had to change. Of course, we started out in a Presbyterian church, but then we moved to another place in town, and then we went to another church, which was First Presbyterian in Fort Lauderdale, and they had a terrific choir and music program at the time. They had, children's choir and
so you
choir
did
and
the
chanza choir.
Yeah, children. Now, was that like? I'm just curious. Was that like a CCD type of program, or was that just like a separate thing, like after school is what you did?
Well, yeah. I mean, the church choir, of course, was be a once a week rehearsal, and then Sunday services. And in school, so we had our music programs, but I don't remember too much about them in my elementary school. It was really when I was preteen and teen that really started affecting me, and I got into the high school choir in church, and I got into the high school chorus in high school. So doing both those programs every week.
So it's almost, and it's kind of weird, like a lot of what you said so far, I can relate to some of those things, right? The one thing I find very interesting, right off the bat, and it's going to sound corny, but it's really not, because I think that no matter what the influence is, or how we are influenced at that age, I guess the turnout and what you do with it is the differences, right? Because so far, a lot of what you just said within those two questions themselves are pertaining to, like, animated things, like you said, Mickey Mouse, Will the Whale, which are references to Disney, which is, pretty cool, because, I mean, back then, even now, I think, they still have a lot of musicals in their cartoons and movies and stuff, right? So that would make sense that something like that, especially the Disney animes and stuff back then, could have a great influence on a child.
Right.
And
I can say, that I went to most of the Disney movies when my grandmother and mother would take me early on, and
that's cool.
It was Song of the South. There was, Peter Pan and Alice in Wonderland and all of those. So anytime there was music, it really inspired me.
Well, what's really cool too. I don't know if you're watching the show, Brian, but a lot of the members here are also, chatting along, and a lot of them here are also saying that they had some of the same inspirations growing up, which I think is special. And I'll tell you why. Because when I'm interviewing somebody, an artist, and they're answering, and then I look at the members and they're responding to you, it's nice because it makes it more relatable. You know what I mean? You as the person, and then why everybody is here and why people are involved in music to begin with, because there's so many similarities with everybody, how they were influenced. Of course, each experience is different, but a lot of the members share or have experienced similar things as a child. And when do you think roughly, what age roughly do you remember when you really first started to sing? I know you said between like ages of 12 and 13, and it was in a church choir. Now, did that kind of, was that your catalyst for kind of saying, this is really what I want to do? Like, this is my dream? Was kind of just a love for you at that point, right? I mean, because you're only 13.
Yeah, that's true. I never got into band, so it was all about singing. And actually, go back early days in Florida, before I was a preteen, I guess 10, 11, 12, I was in a group called Saturday Troopers. And I wasn't singing yet. I was actually doing comic, mimic or comic, sing about lip singing.
Oh, okay. So you do like a comedic type thing.
That's what people call it today, but actually it was pantomime.
I'm saying again, what was it? Pantomime.
Pantomime.
Really?
That I just kind of taught myself. So it was singing along with comedy songs, basically. And the Saturday Troopers would go around to all the nursing homes and elderly living facilities, and it would be a variety show of young kids performing, and it it gave me a boost to know that we could impress people, or entertain for older people, and we were all kids like less than 13. So that was started by a lady in Fort Lauderdale. And so from there, I got into miming and everything, but I really didn't start singing again until I was 13 or 14. And I went to junior theater, which was sponsored by the recreation department at Fort Lauderdale. I wanted to get into theater, I thought. And so
like theatrical type of thing, Brian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, musical theater is what it was. And the first one I remember being associated with was West Side Story.
Ah, yes. West Side Story.
They just wanted, they had all their leads. They just wanted bit parts and chorus and stuff. So I started getting involved in that. And one thing went to another. The recreation department gave up the sponsorship, and so the kids, several of them, and I guess it mounted up to a dozen or more over a little time, took that enterprise and did the whole thing by themselves.
Oh, wow.
And so I got involved, more and more. But there's a friend, his name is Chet Meisner. He's still a friend from high school today, and he became the conductor. And then there was Lyndon James, who was we even had they had the board and everything, and they raised the money for the tickets and did everything, obtained the venue. And it's almost like, I used to think it's almost like the Little Rascals, but of course older kids put together these shows, and these were very did the full shows from Broadway.
Brian, I don't mean to interrupt you, but so I always find this interesting, and this is kind of something that I really don't ask, but I really wanted to start, including into the interviews, because I think it's very important, I think, for everybody to understand the grasp of how important influence and inspiration truly is, especially when it's pertaining to music. And one of the things I can attest myself, when I was younger, different things didn't always work out, let's just put it that way, but at that age, I clung on to music. Now, for some, they have a better head start in life. Others, not so much, so regardless of your situation, at that age, I know it's probably hard to remember emotion, but as you started getting older, did you find that if you were faced with certain difficulties, it could have been at that age obviously minute, but to you back then these issues could have been extreme. Did you kind of revert to music as a way, like an outlet for you to help you to deal with different emotions and different issues, whether it be life or just personal? Like, did music help you to mature in a way had you not been involved in music?
Well, I'm sure it did. I think it was more subconscious when I was younger.
Interesting.
Because never had a situation that was so dire that I needed to go away. I mean, go off in my own space or sing. in recent years, I have had some, and singing does helps you heal and soothe the soul. And I just I'm very fortunate that my mother almost single-handedly sent me to Westminster Choir College in Princeton.
Wow.
For my college degree, when my father was really not interested in me becoming any kind of entertainer. And so it just so happens that circumstances led me to, after getting a music education degree at Westminster, to go back into the family business. And my music became my avocation.
That's interesting.
But it always, to sing in a group, even more so in a choir that is so well trained and goes on tour, and I think that was the most spiritual experience for me, because the combined sound, the people around you, the camaraderie of doing it, the whole situation is what really inspired me to go on with my singing. But of course, I wasn't inspired, I was inspired but not encouraged to go on to say a graduation degree in performance. But I have to say, as I have in my profile, that when I got married, the person I married with had the most fantastic soprano voice I ever heard.
Really?
Yep.
Did you meet this person through music, or just like a random meet? Like, was it because of music?
Yes.
Oh, no kidding.
We were in a group called Symphony Chorus, and then I was picked by the director of that group to come to his church and do the solo music in the 7 Last Words of Christ. And it just so happens my bride-to-be was out in the audience, heard my voice, goes back to the director and says, can I join the choir now? You've been bugging me to join your choir. He says, oh no, he's not in the choir. She said, then, well, you better get him in if you want me in your choir too. So that's what happened.
And then so on and so forth, and
yeah, we did solos in the choir, and we did solos together, concerts together and things like that. But her aspirations were not to go into performance then either. She became a music teacher. I was electrical wholesale person and owner, and so we were in one church, Methodist church, where we got married for about 13 years, and then we went to an Episcopal church. We were out there 17 years, and in each place we sang as a paid soloist and support, section support.
That's awesome, man.
It was a good time. It was tough to try to juggle everything. We got our kids, and
well, see, I mean,
but after that,
yeah.
But after that, we parted ways, got divorced, and actually, that's when I got into karaoke.
Well, speaking of karaoke, I want to pull up a song, Brian, that I have here in the queue. All right, before we move on. I think it's also very important here too. And as everybody knows, we send the links over, all right, in the chats, Brian, so they can, those who are not familiar with your page, can obviously head on over, and we encourage everybody to do that as well. Check out your profile and the rest of your recordings. Now, Brian allowed me and the team, of the gang, I should say, to kind of sift through his songs and find the ones that we enjoy. So, which is better for us because Brian doesn't know which ones we picked. So, Brian, one of the ones that we picked, okay, now this here, I'm going to actually send it through right now so all of the members can click and check it out. This is Can't Stop Loving You, artist Tom Jones. All right, and we're going to play this here for everybody. Now, are you a Tom Jones fan? Or just like
yes.
Okay, cool. All right.
Very much.
All right. So this, Brian, if you want to just hold on tight, I'm going to feature this. This is Can't Stop Loving You. Original, well, one of the artists is Tom Jones and all-style vocalist, a.k.a. Brian Long. So here it is.
I watched the leaves fall into the ground. I'm walking up and down the streets of my hometown. You're here with me like it used to be. I look around and then I'm on my own again. Can't stop loving you. Can't stop wanting you. Can't stop now that you made me part of you. I've heard some people say I'm dreaming my life away, but what else can I do? Can't stop loving you. Your face I see in my memory. I close my eyes and then I start to live again. You're holding me like it used to be. I open my eyes and then I'm on my own again. Can't stop loving you. Can't stop wanting you. Can't stop now that you made me part of you. I've heard some people say I'm dreaming my life away, but what else can I do? Can't stop loving you. Can't stop loving you. Can't stop wanting you. Can't stop feeling blue. Can't stop loving you.
One sec, bud.
Can't stop loving you. Oh, I can't. Can't stop loving you.
Yeah, that all-style vocalist, a.k.a. Brian Long. Brian, you got a set of pipes on you, my friend.
Well, that's what my training ever since I was in that church choir from high school taught me to sing that way. Just
Wow.
to say that it came from what they call the Westminster Method, and the Westminster Choir College taught every one of their people, whether they were majoring in voice or not, they were to be in a choir, and every one of them got voice lessons as an individual singer. And then as soon as they were, well, they didn't even wait. Anybody that was in that college and choirs was a soloist. And they put all the soloists together, and then they had a huge sound.
Really?
Yes, they taught the bel canto method, or full-throated, full voice, operatic style. And the college actually started in 19 to 20 some, I think 29. But the choir itself had started long before then. It was a community choir that eventually got so much fame that they toured the world. And then John Williams.
John Phil.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. John don't mind.
3 names. Williamson, anyway.
Williamson. Johnny Williamson.
Yeah. Founded the college in Princeton, New Jersey.
Well, I mean, you have.
Tell everybody if my speech sounds funny, it's because I'm having trouble with my teeth today.
Hey, listen, totally understandable.
Not that they're falling out or anything. I'm just.
Even if they were,
placing
Brian,
my
you know,
tongue.
it doesn't matter. We love you anyways, just the same. I can barely talk to begin with, so, I mean, don't feel bad. Listen, you know, you're more pronounced than I, let me tell you that. So one thing I noticed here, which is really cool, I really want to, just so people understand, right? Your tag name, I call them tag names, all style vocalist. Now,
Yes.
some people don't understand. Many have different theories or opinions of what a vocalist means, right? And some people say, oh, well, it's because they have a wide, see, I can't even talk, man, a wide range of vocals, or they can sing many different styles with vocals. So for you, that tag name, because, I mean, obviously I'm known as the vocalist. Prior to that, it was the King's Voice.
Right.
But all style vocalist. Now, we all have tag names for personal reason, or maybe it's a professional reason. Now, judging by your library of different songs that you do, I know before you said you really try to do different songs. You try not to duplicate them.
Yeah.
Right? So is that why you kind of tagged that name, just so everybody understands a little bit better?
Yeah, that's part of it. But when I first started out with karaoke, I really couldn't find, I had been singing classical music mostly. I always appreciated all the songs as I was growing up in the 60s, even late 50s, when my father and I were moving down to Florida, South Florida. We had all the radio and music the whole time. So everything from the late 50s up through the 80s, even some from the 90s and recently, I like to hone in on if it's something I think I can sing. And I started singing oldies and pop songs with the karaoke back in say 2002, 3. And believe it or not, I hadn't even heard of Roy Orbison yet.
No kidding.
No kidding. And he became my favorite singer to kind of emulate, to at least I like to impersonate. You'll see I've got a whole series of songs that I did with dressed up as
Roy Orbison. Yep. I seen that a while back when you and I first connected. A while back. Yeah.
Now, sometimes I can sing like him. I mean, I can emulate his voice, and sometimes I just don't. And actually, I go ahead and do a little bit more operatic style, at least on sustained notes, like he kind of aspired to do. If you read anything about Roy Orbison, he actually took voice lessons in order to extend his range, and he did very nicely for the type of style of voice he had.
Right.
And so he liked to say that he put some operatic drama or character into his songs, which was part of what made him, I think, very popular in a time when, a lot of the rock and roll songs were very, how should I say, choppy.
Mm-hmm.
Junky,
I agree.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
He really wanted to make his singing and his songs smoother and mellow them out. He just impressed me so much that I just latched on to all the songs I could. But then I didn't realize what a huge library he used to record from. Mainly, I started out with his hits. So that's what I like about him. He's so unusual at the time from the rest of the pack.
Well, Brian,
Yeah.
you know that Roy Orbison and Elvis had a mutual likeness with each other. Do you know what that was?
Yes.
So if
I
there's
know what you say, but
okay, well, if there's people that don't, which I found very cool because I agree with you. I think Roy Orbison, if Elvis wasn't around, I would have to say, yeah, Roy Orbison. And it's not to, put Roy Orbison down by any means, no. But what I liked was Roy Orbison used to say, and he said it in many, many interviews, Elvis was his favorite singer, and vice versa. Elvis said that about Roy Orbison. And what a lot of people don't realize, do you know what song Roy Orbison brought to Elvis, and Elvis turned him down? And the reason Elvis did is because he told Roy Orbison to go out and record the song himself. When Roy Orbison did that, boom, he became an overnight success.
Yep, I remember something about that, but tell me, refresh my memory.
Pretty Woman.
When it was. Of course.
Yep. So Roy Orbison brought that, to Elvis, and Elvis says, no. He goes, I think you should sing it. And it's in the interviews, in the archives. It's actually pretty cool. I just had to throw it out there because I find it interesting when, you were saying about, emulating Roy Orbison. And now there's a difference, Brian, I think, that a lot of people, I think, get this confused. There's emulation, there's mimic, and then there's impersonation.
Right.
So I think people confuse emulation with impersonation. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes.
And I can relate to exactly where you're coming from with that because I've heard your songs. I met you a while back online, actually, when you had your Roy Orbison gear on and everything else like that. And there's a lot of very fine emulation there when you sing Roy Orbison. If you don't mind, could you just a little bit, just kind of tell people that difference between the impersonation and the emulation, more so about the Roy Orbison, because I know that you really style on Roy Orbison more so?
Well, from my experience, and I have to say this because I started out with mimic, it was comedy, songs like from, I don't know, anything from Danny Kaye to Phil Harris, and even Stan Freberg had a lot of musical numbers. So I mimicked them as a pantomime. Well, that was like, you had to be in sync, you had to have facial, you had to have all the acting, and that goes along with either impersonation or characterization. Then when I got older and started singing, I learned to to try to modulate my voice, and that's emulation. In my opinion, it's actually singing or impersonating as like Bob Anderson. He does the whole shtick. He does. I don't know if anybody's heard about him, but he is one of the most famous singing impersonators in Las Vegas.
Yes. Yep.
And he does the whole thing. He makes, you get people that vocalize just the speaking, and so they pretend or they emulate and impersonate a comic or some celebrity. But then when you go into singing, you have to learn how to use your voice and emulate the sounds that are coming out of that person. Like Johnny Mathis is very distinct, and
Yes.
I try to do him. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't, So then it becomes like in the style, you're singing his song, you're singing in the style of the person.
Correct.
And you may be doing the nuances of the way they change the phrasing, the way they change something about the music itself. But emulation to me is actually singing like the singer, trying to use his vocal changes. You have to change in whether you go into the mask of into your mask singing, and you be more nasal. Sometimes you can get higher notes that way, or if you're singing down farther in the throat, and you can sing. I started out as a bass baritone, and then I sang tenor for a while in a choir, a choir church, and I extended my range. Now I've come back to where I've gone through some, physical things and stuff, and I'm just trying to get my voice back, my full range back, and so it gets stuck sometimes there in between. There's something called the lift, and when you go into your lift, it goes higher into the cavity of your pharynx and your nose and everything like that. So that's where I'm getting a little stopped up right now. But that's the emulation.
I mean, you're
being able to change the vocal inside the vocal, everything, muscular support from the diaphragm, everything like that. You change how you sound to other people.
I mean, you're so, pronounced with the knowledge of singing, which I find interesting, and very impressive too. Because a lot of the language you're using, truth be told, there's a lot of defining of what things are that I don't know the definition of everything, or how to use that language to describe something, right? I'm more of a layman term type of person. I just know how to do it, but for me, unlike what you just said, if somebody were to ask me and for me to try to answer in the way you just did, I don't know, you're looking at me like five heads, right? But that's cool, and I think that explains a lot of your educational background too, especially with the music and what you did, throughout life. Because clearly, you have a lot of knowledge and education in music, not just the musical aspect of it, not just the vocal aspect of it, but the actual knowledge of it.
Yes, and that comes from, we start in a choir college, as it was called. Everything, all phases are touched. And you study piano, you study instruments as well. But the thing about the college was that you came out a music teacher, music director, either an organist or a music director in the church. And then they added the school education degree, and that's what I took. And then they went into performance, which I missed out on. So I am really impressed with so many people that are self-taught, because I understand if you can listen to the original artist and you can mimic first, and you can match pitches, and then you can go and start singing in the same style as the person you're listening to, that's a gift. Because it takes a lot of your facilities, your ears, your eyes, your, you know.
It does. All
your
yeah. Yep. I agree with you. I agree 100%, Brian. And I just like how you explained all that stuff. Now,
I talked to some people on SingSnap, as I did too in Red Karaoke when they were still alive. You gain a lot of friends. You gain a lot of understanding of how people have gone through their life and how music has helped them, and you also find out, you know, some of them are looking to extend their voice or to sing better.
Correct.
And if they spend any time with me, I'm happy to send them tips and. Well, of course, it's singing with a group, but if you can't sing with a group, then you pick up an instrument and sing with that.
That's right. Or you know, you can kick rocks. You know, you can make music out of that. Speaking of music, Brian, I want to get to another song here that we picked out, and I'm going to put it right here on the members.
Because I got to say something. That sounded pretty good this time.
Yes.
Sometimes when I go back and listen to him, I'm saying, boy, is that guy pitchy.
Well, you know what?
Singing under the pitch, and it drives me crazy.
So critique, yeah, self-critique. We're going to get into that, too, because I think that's very important, too. But I like what you said, but I don't want to get further into discussion because I want to play this song, and then I'm really going to get into it because I think it's very, very cool. This see, I can't even talk, Brian. I mean, come on. And listen, I'm self-taught, taught myself how to walk, talk, sing, and... No, probably sing. Maybe talk. I don't know. Who knows? If my mom was on right now, she'd probably disagree. Anyways, this next song that we chose here, let me see. Let me just pull it up for you. Which I thought was really cool. And again, Brian has, you know, like many, a huge library here. So please go to his profile, check out his other recordings. This is All Style Vocalist, a.k.a. Brian Long. Now, this one, it says, Guinea Come Lately. Am I reading that right? G-I-N-N-Y by Brian...
Jenny.
I'm sorry?
Jenny.
Jenny, yeah, Jenny, okay.
Like Virginia.
Oh, West Virginia.
Lately.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't have my smart-looking lenses on, Brian, so I apologize.
Okay.
Just listen... Always blame the gang, the team. You know, if anything goes wrong, never blame your host. Okay, it's just a cardinal rule. Okay. But anyways, so we're gonna play this one here. Let me see, and let's just get queued it up. All right, so here he is, ladies and gentlemen. This is All Style Vocalist. We already sent the link right over to you guys, and we're gonna play this next song. Here we go.
I only met you just a couple of days ago. I only met you and I want your loving soul. Ginny come lately, sweet, sweet as can be. You may have come lately, but Ginny come lately. You're the one for me. I only had to see the sunlight in your hair, your soft, soft silhouette to know I'd always care. Ginny come lately, sweet, sweet as can be. You may have come lately, but Ginny come lately. You're the one for me. You only had to smile honestly, I only met you just a couple of days ago. And oh, my love for you has no more room to grow. Ginny, come lately, my dream come true. You may have come lately, but Ginny, come lately, I'm in love with you.
And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. That is all-style vocalist, a.k.a. Brian Long. Brian, I love the harmony on that.
Well, I was trying to do my best as Brian Hyland, but
That was
so
awesome.
tried to emulate how he sings, but you know, it's a far cry from operatic. So sometimes when I do those things, I get a little off pitch, and I like to do that as, you know, experiment to see how I can do a self harmony. I know others have done it too, and they do a wonderful job a lot of times on Sing Snap, and it's just a good thing to help train your voice. It's almost like singing, you know, in a choir or with somebody else. You have to try to tune yourself as well.
Well, I mean, listen, you even got the attention of Monkey and, you know, family, as you can see here. They've become quite celebrities on their own. Well, Green Monkey originally did, and now, of course, we have Dave, who's a Monkey President fan club. So they thank you as well. And every once in a while, and I got to say hi to Judy. I just seen her pop in there as well. Hi, Judy. You're listening to Brian Long, a.k.a. all-style vocalist. And we're just about to get into the knit and grit here. But I do love that harmony. That's one thing, Brian, that I give people props for. And I'll tell you what, is harmonizing with their own voice. Because,
right,
truth be told, to really harmonize, it's, you almost have to, for me, I harmonize along with it. That doesn't sound like I'm harmonizing. It actually sounds like I'm duplicating it, if you know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it's kind of like I'm not harmonizing, right? Because you got to either be like that one note difference in order to hear the actual differences. Yeah. So that's not easy to do. So hats off to people that can do that, man. That's I'm just a straightforward singer like that.
Well,
let me see.
And I like I said, I've heard some others. I can't think of their names right now offhand, but that's the wide range of singing you get from Sing Snap. It's just really great. And of course, I was doing Red Karaoke before because they had a computer interface. Now this is the only website I've found, Sing Snap, that still allows you to use your computer as a studio, and that's the one option that I like, even though I've had some technical problems, but usually work them out. And the other thing is about singing with yourself or somebody else, of course, a duo. Is a lot of people like to do duets because they're not quite as confident, or just want to make more social activity with somebody else, right, and doing a duet and duo. And I just find it really fascinating that we've got so many good people out there, great talents, But
Wouldn't-
there's so many people on Sing Snap, you often have to get kind of a reference or just stumble in from hearing one person, another person that is a fan.
Well, see, that's
And,
nice that you said that, Brian, because you actually brought up my next question, which we really don't talk about enough when I do interviews, and I really should, though, truth be told, because most of the members, our subscribers, and everybody, is from SingSnap, right? And I, like you and many others, have befriended so many great people, even all the members here in chat and everybody. I find, me personally, not just music, but I mean, of course, music is, it's that tool, right, that brings you, depending on how you use it, that allowed me to meet all of these people, especially from SingSnap. And like you said, yeah, there are so many people on SingSnap, but the ones that I know, the ones that I become close with, which is pretty much everybody, it's why we do this show. But there is just so much talent there, and you can literally spend hours and hours and hours just listening to different styles, different people, how they sing. It always amazed me that when we do this show, hearing, and now I know that they have a lot of younger members coming on board and stuff, which is great, right? But for me personally, it encourages me to hear all of these people, even the ones that we've heard sing, several times. It's always nice to hear them sing and do different things to really challenge themselves. I mean, do you find that encouraging? Like when you're in SingSnap, you're recording, and then you watch the What's Next, or like whoever sang just recorded, right? And you go and listen to them, and then it kind of inspires you. Maybe you want to try that song, or you pop them a comment or something, but it just kind of encourages you listening to people on SingSnap. Does that work for you like that too?
Yeah, it sure does. I mean, it's like I hear them, somebody new every day that has a great voice, and I hear other people that are not as great, or not singing like the professional, but they have a good grasp of the song and the music, and it's good to listen and give everybody a high sign, because they're making an effort, even though you're supposed. The whole thing about karaoke that made me like it so much, it was relaxing to me, and it's for fun. I mean,
right.
I'm someone that's going to be very, and am very critical of my own singing or recording.
Now,
I don't know where that comes from, but it could be too, because the ex-wife I had perfect pitch, and every time we would rehearse together, she would get very frustrated with me.
Listen, I'm glad you brought that up, man, because I think for the most part, Brian, that a lot of people who are just passionate about music in general, right? I think that we critique ourselves so much to the point, and I do the same thing, man. I'll record something, listen to it after, like what you just said, and then you go back maybe a couple of days later, right? And you're like, you don't like it. But I think that we all do that, and I think it's just a matter of we have to really just be okay with the way it sounds or the way we play an instrument, right? And just understand that, I think the more critical we become of ourselves, and I became this way, and I love my mom, but growing up in a musical family, and my mom was a professional singer, I always, it was kind of like the same thing where you just explained about your former wife, right? Where you're trying to meet or keep up with those high expectations. Now, whether they voluntarily or involuntarily put that demand on you, you're still trying to keep up with that and meet that expectation, right? I mean, so I think that we all somehow along the way kind of acquired some sort of critical judgment, again, whether it's influenced intentionally or not.
Yeah.
Right. So I understand exactly what you're saying. The other thing I wanted to ask you here, Brian, is because you are a vocalist, who would you, well, we already know Roy Orbison, so he's one key player, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But what kind or type, and I know this is hard being a vocalist, because I still don't know, but what kind of type of singer, if you had to, roughly roundabout, what type of singer would you say you are if somebody asked you? Like, how would you kind of narrow that spectrum down just a little bit? I know it's tough, but...
It is tough.
Yeah.
Because I've had such a wide range of vocal experiences. I would say that, first of all, we're all typed as a part or a type of voice, whether it's the tenor of your voice, it's the volume, it's the where you place the music, and that's why I say you have to do so many other things with it to emulate somebody else. But I would say, first of all, I'm a lyric baritone, and that's been my classification.
That would be like a class, right? Yeah.
Right, that's a class. But as far as a type of person, I'm a pop vocal.
Okay.
Mostly at karaoke venues. I sing mostly, Engelbert, Tom Jones. I'll even sing some Gary Puckett. I'll sing. Then I, throw in a few doo-wops.
Doo-wops, I love doo-wops. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty much a pop vocal singer. Because one thing that was disappointing to me when I was still trying to develop my voice to be a concert and opera singer.
Yes.
Was one of my vocal coaches said, "You'll never be one of those. You'll never be." Now, to some people that would be a challenge, but she had a point. I am a small stature. I would have had to get my body in and over muscular and other things to compensate, like a Caruso or like Mario Lanza. I tell you, if I come back as Mario Lanza, I'd be happy.
Listen, if I come back as Elvis Presley, I mean, he was a good-looking dude, so I can, absolutely.
The thing about Mario Lanza is that he went into popular and besides his opera, so he was a versatile singer as well as having an operatic voice.
Right.
He had a fantastic range, and I like to do all of the genres. But yeah, I'm a popular singer, popular music, some rock and roll. I was doing rock with my brother's practice band for a while. We did a few gigs, but not much. So.
Well, see, Brian, I'm rubbing off on you, man. When you start to talk like me, that's just a bad sign that they've been hanging around with you too long.
I'm getting dry mouth.
Yep. Well, you know what? I can tell you this. You're not alone, because I just seen Gypsy's chat and a couple others too. They all agree as well that, that is a hard question, right? And to kind of answer that pinpointly, you almost can't. You know what I mean? And
no. The
reason I asked that question too is because we do have people who do watch the show and who don't chat. But the one great thing that I find with all of the members, the community that the members have actually built, the show is not about me. It's about everybody. It's about music, right? And
right.
The best thing that I love that this show does, is that there are people who watch and they'll listen. They may not chat. That's okay. But what happens is we've received emails for people, you know, it inspires them to hear others singing, and it inspires them. It brightens up their day. It helps them get through. Say maybe they had a rough week or they're going through some hard times, and they watch the show, they listen to the show, they watch the chat back and forth, and it brings them joy. And you know what? To me, Brian, and I know it applies with you, that's what music is all about. You know, inspiring.
Sure.
Right? Because we're all like-minded. We all have differences of likes and what have you, but it's the one language nobody argues about. You and I were discussing this the other night. It's a universal language. You just, like, there's no arguing. You know, music is and always was and always will be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
With that being said, before I move on to some of the final questions here, I want to play this one here. This is When I Fall in Love, and this is by Natalie Cole, not King Cole.
Yeah.
Okay.
King Cole and Natalie.
And Natalie, that is correct. So I'm going to put this up on the board for everybody here. And guys, don't forget, check out, yes. I'm sorry,
Did
Brian.
you find one where somebody joined me?
I did.
Or somebody filled in the Natalie. Good.
Well, let me see. This here doesn't have the name, but I can find that one if you'd like us to play that one.
Yeah, because it fills it out. It's
okay, well, yeah, the one we have, let me see here, that we had. I
think it's one I created and then waited for somebody to join me. And let me see, did somebody...
Yeah, because you had another one here, Brian, Breaking Up is Hard to Do, and that you have another artist joining you.
Mm-hmm.
So we can play that one.
That was a slow version with shout out to Beth.
Okay, so why don't we play that one then?
She's my biggest supporter.
All right, well then.
Since we met back years ago on Red Karaoke.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to play that because Beth is your biggest supporter. And her tag name, Brian, is Beth6 on SingSnap as well. All right, cool. So this one here that you guys are doing, this is Breaking Up is Hard to Do. And this is the slow version, you said. So this is All Style Vocals, All Style Vocalist, a.k.a. Brian Long. There's the link, guys. Along accompanying him is Beth6. Breaking Up is Hard to Do. So here we go. Let's give a listen, Brian.
You tell me that you're leaving. I can't believe it's true. For what is this love without you? Just take your love away from me. Don't you leave my heart in misery. If you go, then I will. 'Cause breaking up is hard to do. Remember when you held me tonight, that you could see all through the night. Think of all that we could do, and breaking up is hard to do. They say that breaking up is hard to do. Now I know it's true. Don't say that this is the end. Instead of waking up, I wish that we were waking up again.
Come on, let's start again. 'Cause waking up is hard to do. 'Cause waking up is so hard to do.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen. All-style vocalist, accompanied by Beth Six. Both of you doing a nice job on that. I liked that slow version right there. That was very cool.
Well, I try to join other people that already recorded. Then I have to, like anyone, have to match their style. But I gotta again shout out to Beth because
she's here in chat, I think, Brian.
Yeah, and she's
Hi,
always
Beth.
been there and commented. And back in 2017, I was selected to go to the National Karaoke World Karaoke Contest in Nevada, and I didn't know in time to make my arrangements to get out there. It was right before we had a hurricane here, and she was like trying like crazy to help me out to get out there, but it just didn't work out. And so that was my last chance, I think, for the World Karaoke Contest. But
that's
we'll
awesome.
See.
Brian, I can honestly tell you this. Having this interview with you, and I know many can attest to this because I try to follow the chats as well. Believe it or not, I can do two things at once. I know it's hard for everybody to believe. But one of the pleasantries, I'll say, about doing interviews is that it's different when you speak on the phone sometimes quickly or you chat with people. But the reason I encourage everybody, and I say that with emphasis, to really do interviews is because I myself truly enjoy hearing the personalization of somebody behind the music. It really allows for me as a host, as an entertainer myself, to understand why you do the music you do, the style you sing, and of course the artist, the person explains it, but I can hear and feel the type of person that I'm interviewing, and it warms me because it's really, really cool. Without this, we literally host and speak and do things with people from around the world, and we're literally the only ones so far that can say that, and we owe a great gratitude. And I thank Sing Snap and Trevor and Novella all the time, and of course all the members, for having such an awesome platform where great people like yourselves can go on there. And I love doing these interviews with people, and I thank you so very much for taking your time. And with that being said, this is another important question I like to ask people, Brian. I've done shows in the past about it, but I like to hear from the individual. Do you feel that music, it's kind of a two-part, has helped you in a positive way? And if it has, can you explain how music has helped you feel better, helped you be more optimistic? Like, has it really helped you to better you as a person?
Definitely. I mean, it
That's
brings
awesome.
up the spirit. It brings up the, it increases energy more than if I do exercises or go for a walk.
Really?
Of course, I have to do those things to be a better singer.
Right.
But anytime I sing, since I feel I'm so well grounded in the training and experience that I can pretty much, just record a song, or for myself or for anybody else that wants to hear and listen. And I just want to say to everybody out there that I encourage you to look at a lot of other songs that I have, any of them that or feel like you'd like to listen to. I have, and I don't know how much other people put into their songs. Some people just start singing, and sometimes that's the better way for me. Not to put so much thought into it. Just do it.
Just do it.
See how
Have
it
fun
comes
with
out.
it. Yeah.
But on the other hand, if you're trying to work on something you want to perfect, then playing back, that's the biggest help. Recording, you listen to yourself, you can go and see where you can improve on it. And, that's a great tool that we've always used in singing. But it also helps to have a coach of some kind. If you're really serious, you want to listen to yourself. You don't want to get discouraged if you don't like what you hear, but you can be encouraged about things that do come through that you like, and then you go back and maybe you record it again, or when you want to get somebody else to sing with you. So,
well, you just hit a key note here, because Daniela, and I can agree. She just said that's her problem. Meaning, in other words, that's like one of the problems that she has as well. And I can definitely attest to that. And I like how you answered that, because you're right. A lot of times I think that we put too much emphasis into either trying to sound too good or trying to get it so right, where we lose the concept of singing, of having fun, right? And then it no longer becomes fun, Brian. It becomes stressful. And I can tell you, it's happened to me many, many, many times. And I like that, because I think everybody really should just, grab a song, and I'm speaking to myself as well. Just grab a song and just do it, right? Just have fun and enjoy it. Just live in that moment. Who cares if you're off key, if you're not hitting that octave, whatever. Just have fun with the song, really, is what you're expressing to everybody. And that's really cool. We don't think of that stuff. We tell everybody else to, but when we're doing it, we don't. Like, I don't apply a lot of my own advice that I give, and shame on me, but when I hear other people give that advice, like what you just did, it's 100% accurate. And you're right, man, and I thank you for that, because a lot of times, we put too much stress on singing as opposed to just enjoying it and having fun. So I thank you for that answer, Brian. That was really good, man. I appreciate that.
Let me tell you just one more thing. I've always been pretty stoic, and I've had several ladies told me I don't get emotional enough. I don't cry. I don't do this or that. My emotion goes into my singing. And I just have to say that my son died several years ago at the age of 34.
Oh, yeah, I'm so sorry.
And I won't go into all the ramifications, but yeah, I did feel horrible.
But
sure. I got on Sing Snap like the next day or so, and I sang with a heck of a lot of people one of his favorite songs, and that's Somewhere Out There. And that got me through it. I'm telling you, it got me through the emotion. I knew it was one of his favorite songs. Wow. He was in the boy choir and had a great voice himself. But if it wasn't for singing with people on SingSnap, I could have just, melted into a lump.
Sure. Sure.
So,
I agree.
yep, singing brings me up every time, and I think it does others. Now, when I try to sing something on SingSnap, if there's a song I don't know, and I'm sure others do this too, they go to YouTube, find the artist, kind of emulate, sing along with them, and try to get all the fine points, and then go and sing. But so
that's Brian, that's encouraging. That kind of struck a nerve when you said that, and my condolences. But
thank you. But I was just bringing it up as a point.
No, absolutely. 100%.
If I didn't have singing, I could never get through the initial pain. I mean, every day there's a zing there,
Sure.
But it's easier to get over with singing and music.
It is, and I appreciate it. I know everybody else appreciates you sharing that. It is encouraging, right? Sometimes through sorrow, we find encouragement, and I know it's kind of corny, right, to say that.
Yeah.
But that is the truth. It's kind of like a car battery, right? The negative works not alone, but it has to have a positive, and vice versa. So through every negative, I believe that there is a positive, and whether we see it at that time or not, somewhere along the road, we do find that positive. And for all of us here, aside from your faith, your beliefs, religion, what have you, music, singing, more so, is the one ground that everybody relates to, right? That's our positive. That's what gets us through.
That's right.
What helps us, kind of, as you say, we get those little zings from time to time. Some more than others, but for the most part, Brian, you're 100% right, man, and that's encouraging. I appreciate you sharing that with us. And I, my friend, have literally like one more big question, but I'm going to play one more of your songs here, if you don't mind. And Brian, it's awesome to chat with you. Very well educated, I can tell you that. And I do love how you relate. Most people in the past, when I was doing my shows, that I spoke with, who were, I call them, higher ups in music, right? Really wouldn't take the time or the day to sit down and relate to other people, because in their mind they were better, or their profession or what have you.
Right.
And I think that's you're relatable to people, which is really, really cool. Despite of education, despite of experience, I think that you're very relatable, and I can tell you that because I'm feeling it, number one, and I can tell everybody else is feeling it. And I like that about people. You can relate to something. You're real. There's many people out there, let's be honest, who, whether they're on YouTube or somewhat of a celebrity, or there's others who just think they're bomb diggity. You know what I mean? And music to them is kind of like a status, more or less, rather than a love. Right. It's a status, and I appreciate that, man. I really do. That's awesome.
And it's a good thing to
yes,
it's a good thing to remember that singing is definitely a God-given gift. It's something that we have, that if you develop it, or you just want to just sing to feel good, or give it to somebody else, it's always there. It's not there for status. It's not there for make a lot of money, although people do.
Yes, yes they do.
Eventually, if they don't keep their mind on, keep their focus on what it's all about, then they kind of fall into the slump.
Yeah, exactly. The abyss. I hear you 100%. Brian, I am going to play for your final song before we close out with this question here. When I Fall in Love, which was the one I had queued up prior.
Good.
This is by Natalie Cole, Nat King Cole. Now, I don't know if this is the fill-in, but let me see here just to make sure. Yeah, it doesn't have any other names or assistants with it. Let me see.
I was trying to find it. I thought I heard somebody did it.
Oh, maybe. Okay, hold on. You know what? Let me go back because I don't
in
know.
other words, they added on to me, and so it would be in there.
It would be in theirs. Yeah, this
Sure
is
did.
actually under yours. So,
Mhm.
your notes here say first take, inner circle, practice, joining me on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so is this just you solo, do you remember? Or is this...
Yeah,
Okay, all right, so we
Yeah,
can
that's
play
it.
this one then?
it's fine with me.
All right, brother. All right.
Can't waste time.
All right. So here he is, all-style vocalist, a.k.a. Brian Long, When I Fall in Love, and by Natalie Cole and Nat King Cole. And don't forget, ladies or men, click on this link, and you can definitely join Brian on this song. So here it is.
That
Brian.
would be wonderful.
When I fall in love, it will be forever, or I'll never fall in love. In a restless world like this is, love is ended before it's begun, and too many moonlight kisses seem too cold in the warmth of the sun. Give my heart completely, give my heart, and the moment I can feel that you feel that way too, is when I fall in love with you. When I give my heart, it will be completely, or I'll never give my heart. And the moment I can feel that you feel that way too, is when I fall in love. Is when I fall in love with you.
I love you.
And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. All style vocalist Brian Long. Beautiful job, man. You have a lot of members here, Brian, that I can assure you are going to be heading over to your page and doing some songs with you and checking out your other recordings as well. So
Good, because I want them to check out songs I did when I first joined in the 20s, 2020, because my voice is in better shape too. But I'm coming back. You know, you got to get through the vocal problems, like I know a lot of the people I've had, and I promised myself that when I reach 75, if I get all charged up again, I'll reapply for the World Karaoke Contest.
you're never too old, my friend. Ever.
They need to see an older guy do the job.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Too.
And that's what I'm thinking, Brian. You know, when I hit, I don't know, 70s, 80s, if I'm still alive, yeah, I'd like to do a final farewell tour. Who knows? But anyways, Brian, I have one last question for you. And it's really for everybody who's listening, watching, who's chatting. What would you like to say as Brian Long, the artist, the musician, the vocalist, and the person, to everybody out there about music and your musical experience and why?
Never give up. Always treat your singing like an inspiration and even a health aid. Because if you are singing, if you don't like your own singing, which you should never think that way, because you just practice makes perfect, then sing with someone else, because someone else will always bring you along, and you have great experiences by doing so.
And do you think, Brian, that everybody who's listening now can benefit from even just you know, maybe taking 5 minutes of their day, right? Because we all go through different stresses, but just maybe taking 5 minutes of your day and kind of just you know, really just zoning everything out, maybe listening to some music or something, or maybe singing, and you know, as you say, don't be so judgmental on yourself, don't criticize, don't be so hard on yourself. Music was, music is, and music always will be, and just kind of let music influence you in a positive way, and really just tune everything out.
Absolutely, I agree with you, and I'm glad you've opened up this forum that can be worldwide, so a lot of people can join in. It's a nice, like, add-on, or not directly, but a offshoot of SingSnap that I hope not only SingSnap users will be joining and listening, but other users. I've tried probably all the fundamentally good singing sites, and I still like SingSnap the best so far.
I concur. I do. Brian,
all around.
I and the gang and everybody listening, watching, and partaking in chats, thank you so humbly, respectfully, for taking your time, sharing who you are as the musician as well as the person, about your music, your life, and you know, truly inspiring and helping others out there to be inspired, and taking your time really for these couple of hours to spend with us. I truly appreciate it personally, and I just want to say to everybody out there, yeah, never give up hope. 100%. I agree with Brian. Don't take things so personally. And I, Denny Cool, speak for myself directly, to de-stress and just have fun with it, and just kind of go with the flow. So, ladies and gentlemen, there it is. Brian Long, a.k.a. All Style Vocalist, joining us here on the one and only The Vocalist, Denny Cool and Gang podcast. We are the only ones to feature artist members from around the world. That, my friends, concludes our show for this evening. Brian, thank you so very much. And until we sing again, my friends, please take care of others. Be kind to others. Take care of yourself. Brian, thank you so much. You guys have a fantastic night.
Thank you for the opportunity, and everybody keep singing.
You got it, my friend. That was Brian Long, All-Style Vocalist. Please check out his page and his recordings. Till we sing again, folks, God bless, adios. Have a fantastic evening.